The Undercity of Zaun was a labyrinth of shadows and smoke, a place where dreams were forged from desperation and alliances from necessity. Among its twisting alleys and dimly lit taverns, two names rose above the din: Silco and Vander. Once, they had been brothers in arms, bound by shared pain and an unyielding dream of freeing Zaun from Piltover's iron grip. But dreams, like metal, could break under pressure. The struggle for Zaun's freedom had united them. Silco, with his silver tongue and ruthless ambition, was the architect of their rebellion, a visionary who saw a free Zaun rising from the ashes of oppression. Vander was the hammer, the unbreakable shield of their cause, a man who led with his fists and an unshakable moral compass. Together, they rallied the downtrodden, igniting a spark of revolution in the hearts of the Undercity. But as their cause grew, so did the weight of their choices. Silco's plans became darker, his methods more extreme. To him, sacrifices were necessary. The blood of the innocent was a price worth paying for the greater good. Vander began to question their path. Was Zaun's freedom worth losing its soul? The cracks in their partnership began to show. Heated arguments turned into threats, their shared vision splitting into two irreconcilable paths. The final breaking point came during an ambush near the docks, a deadly confrontation with Piltover enforcers. Silco's plan had been precise, his trap set with deadly efficiency. But Vander saw the cost: a group of Zaunite children caught in the crossfire, their terrified faces illuminated by the glow of Hextech weapons. Vander broke ranks, saving the children, while Silco screamed at him from the shadows. "They're expendable. Our goal is bigger than them." Silco's voice was filled with fury, but Vander didn't listen. The chaos that followed was a bloodbath, and their forces barely escaped with their lives. That night, Silco confronted Vander in the ruins of their hideout. Words turned to blows, and blows to bloodshed. Vander, his heart heavy, left Silco broken and bleeding by the edge of the Zaunite waterways. Silco's final scream echoed through the tunnels as he fell into the polluted waters, a cry of betrayal that Vander would never forget. But Silco did not die. The waters of Zaun claimed him, their toxic embrace burning away the man he had been. When he emerged days later, his face was twisted, one eye a searing reminder of Vander's betrayal. His heart hardened into steel. Silco was no longer the idealist Vander had known. He became a symbol of Zaun's darkest desires, forging alliances with Chem Barons and wielding Shimmer to create an army of monstrous loyalty. His dream of a free Zaun remained, but now it was a twisted vision, fueled by vengeance and ambition. Years passed, and Zaun became a powder keg, ready to ignite under Silco's rule. Vander had tried to leave the rebellion behind, seeking peace for himself and the orphans he had taken in. But Silco's shadow loomed large, and the Undercity whispered of the inevitable clash between the two former brothers. Their paths finally crossed in the heart of Zaun, within an abandoned factory. Silco's forces encircled Vander, their faces hidden behind shimmer-induced rage. Vander stood alone, his fists clenched, his body scarred but unbroken. "You betrayed us," Silco hissed, stepping forward. His disfigured face was illuminated by the faint glow of nearby machinery, the scarred eye burning like an ember. "You betrayed me. You lost your way, Silco," Vander replied, his voice steady. "This isn't freedom. It's tyranny." The factory became a battleground, its walls echoing with the sounds of fists meeting flesh and blades slicing through the air. Vander fought like a cornered beast, his punches sending enemies sprawling. But Silco was no longer the man he once knew. He fought with cunning, his strikes precise and deadly. The two finally clashed at the center of the chaos, their blows filled with years of resentment and pain. Silco's knife slashed across Vander's chest, drawing blood, but Vander's fist landed squarely on Silco's jaw, sending him reeling. "I didn't want this, Silco," Vander said, his voice breaking. "You were my brother." Silco's laugh was cold, his knife glinting in the dim light. "Brothers don't leave each other to die. The battle ended as suddenly as it began. Vander, battered and bloody, stood over Silco, his hand shaking as he raised his weapon. But he couldn't strike the final blow. The man before him was still the brother he had fought beside, the man who had dreamed of a better Zaun. Silco, seizing the moment, struck. His blade plunged into Vander's side, the wound deep and fatal. Vander collapsed to his knees, his strength failing as blood poured beneath him. Silco knelt beside him, his voice a whisper. "You chose peace, Vander, but in Zaun there is no peace." With that, Silco rose, leaving Vander to die alone amidst the ruins of their shared dreams. The factory fell silent, the only sound the faint drip of blood on the cold floor. Silco's rule continued, his shadow spreading over Zaun like a storm. But the memory of Vander lingered, a quiet reminder of what had been lost. Their story was told in hushed tones throughout the Undercity's tale of ambition, betrayal, and the cost of dreams. Zaun had not been freed, but it had been forever changed by the clash of its two greatest sons.